So Erik Prince is the founder of Blackwater. Now, Blackwater is, of course, a security firm, and apparently he has lobbied for thousands of mercenaries to be deployed to Venezuela to basically back the challenger to President Nicolas Maduro. This is I don't I'm not really comfortable saying this last name because I'm not quite sure, so I'm probably going to mess it up. It's Juan Guaido. I'm not sure, but that's who the U.S. is backing. That's who Erik Prince wants to back. Now, Erik Prince, of course, is brother to Betsy DeVos, so he's got some ties within the Trump administration that are very, very significant. Now, according to a Reuters report, Prince had been meeting with influential supporters of President Trump and wealthy Venezuelans living in exile to build support for a plan which would see up to 5,000 Spanish speaking troops sent to Venezuela at a cost of about $40 million. Who would be paying for that? Probably those same wealthy Venezuelans, probably corporate interests, and maybe even the Trump administration. I don't know. According to two sources with knowledge of Prince's pitch, the operation would begin with intelligence gathering and later develop into combat and stabilization missions. The idea, they say, is to create a dynamic event that would break a stalemate between the two opposing camps, according to one source talking to Reuters. So now, right now, news has broken that Guaido has taken to the streets in a U.S.-backed coup attempt. So now there's a lot of reports, conflicting reports, so we're not exactly sure what's going on right now. But there's reports of clashes between pro-Maduro and anti-Maduro forces. Maybe some of the military is supporting the opposition, but not very much. I'm not really sure how much support Guaido has, but still, there is violence, and there's not a lot of reliable information going on. But what we do know here is that the Trump administration has officially thrown its support behind the opposition. You have John Bolton coming out there and saying, we need to topple the leader of Venezuela to free the Venezuelan people, right, from Maduro. And so that's the line that we're going with. That's what the administration is saying. And so I think it's fairly clear that this is the beginning of this of an armed coup against Maduro. Now, according to Reuters, Prince wants to help Guaido by turning to private contractors to topple Maduro. So again, these are armed mercenaries. It's a private mercenary army that would come from, I guess, areas around South America. Again, this would be a primarily Spanish-speaking army, which means one of the sources said Prince's mercenaries would consist of Peruvians, Ecuadorians, Colombians, Spanish speakers, as the presence of such troops would be more acceptable than Americans. So they would be on behalf of America, but would be Spanish-speaking troops. Again, this is a private mercenary army that is set on regime change, toppling a South American government. Have we not seen this movie before? Has this not happened before? I mean, honestly, like I think we've been here. I think we've been doing the Banana Republic thing for quite some time, messing with local governments in South America. And again, here we are, we're doing it again. Now, again, I love how they said, well, if we just get people that speak Spanish from around the area, I mean, that should be good enough, right? They'll be more acceptable than Americans. And I have a feeling that it's not really going to be acceptable. Maduro does have a lot of support from poorer Venezuelans, right? And besides, this is still a U.S.-backed coup. They're going to know. They're going to know. See, you know what we should do? Nothing. Especially not this, right? How about we stop overthrowing the governments of other people's countries? Now, you want to talk about meddling, right? Like here, we're all indignant because, oh my God, Russia tried to meddle in our elections. They attempted to meddle in our elections. Well, here we are. We're saying to a government, you know what? We don't like you, and we kind of want access to your oil. So we're thinking about sending 5,000 armed mercenaries to overthrow your government. Okay. Yeah. No, the whole thing is, look, even if you don't like Maduro, right? You should like the fact that, or the possibility of us getting involved in another regime change abhorrent. Why are we there? Why would let it kind of play out, right? But of course, we're unable to do that because they have oil. They have lots of oil. And the opposition leader, Guaido, says that he wants to open up the oil to the markets, which means cheap oil from a puppet government in South America. This is not about helping Venezuelans. This is not about making sure that, they get out from the underneath an oppressive socialistic government. No. You want to help out Venezuelans? How about we stop the sanctions, right? How about we open up trade? That's not going to happen, though. Of course not. And instead of troops, because we can't do that route, we would have mercenaries that might actually end up being worse because mercenary groups are unaccountable. So here we go. And they are a literal private army. Now, will Donald Trump go with this? Is this the direction that Trump would be going? We don't know. According to one anonymous source said to be familiar with the White House's thinking, said that the Trump administration would not support the plan of this nature. But again, we don't know. And Lital Lashem, the investor relations director at Prince's private equity firm, Frontier Resource Group, confirmed that Prince was working on a solution to the crisis in Venezuela. Just as he has a solution for many other places, that should be scary as well. Hey, man, I got a solution for here. I got a solution for Iran. I got a solution over here. There's so many different countries that we should send my armed thugs, my private mercenary army that you're going to pay us millions to do. And we're going to do things. We're going to topple dictators. We're going to steal natural resources on behalf of America. So now spokesperson Mark Cohen, it was a spokesperson for the company, told Newsweek that Prince is not and has no plans to operate or implement an operation in Venezuela. And we're supposed to believe that? Look, if they did, right, would we, do you think they'd tell us if there was an op going on? You think they'd tell the press? You think they'd tell the people if there's currently an op going on? We don't know. And of course they wouldn't tell us because they're not stupid. There could be mercs there and we would have no idea. We wouldn't know it. They could be operating right now. We don't know. We don't know. So, but what we do know, of course, is this is not a good situation. We should not be involved. It's not our fight. Certainly not the fight for our private corporations. But sadly, just like we've done before, on behalf of private companies and the military-industrial complex, we are, again, looking to meddle in the affairs of another country. And we are trying to say that we're doing it because of humanitarian, concerns. Well, they said the same thing about Libya. And so here we go again. We've got another, basically, war for resources that is brewing. And so, look, it's not a good situation. And I'm afraid the more information that we get from this, the worse it's going to be. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron patreon.com/TYT Nation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.